Now, let me repeat it. I know how frustrating it is, folks. Believe me. She lied. She lied under oath yesterday. She has been lying since 9/11/2012. She lied to protect Barack Obama and his election chances in 2012. She lied in consort with Barack Obama, and she lied in order to protect her own presidential chances in 2016. We know she lied. We know why she lied. We know the motives. We know the machinations of it. We know how it all went down. We know she even lied to the families of the 4 who were killed when she greeted them at the casket ceremony. How cold must you be? Continued to lie. Have you heard, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, story from the UK Guardian, nearly 70 hostages facing imminent mass execution have been rescued from an Islamic State jail in a raid by Kurdish troops and U.S. Special Forces in northern Iraq. The operation took place yesterday. It led to the first American combat death in Iraq since 2011. Oh, you didn't know about this? Oh, you didn't? You probably thought we don't have the ability to do this anymore because we didn't do it in Benghazi. We had 4 people pinned down. We had 4 people, one of whom thought that help was on the way. We had 4 people pinned down in a terror attack we knew in advance was going to happen, that Mrs. Clinton and Barack Obama and the media continue to lie about. Yesterday it was said that nothing could have been done. The help, the military, was too far away, that Mrs. Clinton couldn't find a way to communicate with the ambassador. She could talk to Huma Abedin anytime she wanted. She could talk to Sidney Blumenthal. They could reach her via email. Chris Stevens, the ambassador, couldn't. He's begging for backup. He's begging for more security before the event, and all he get was nothing. No response whatsoever. And let me reiterate why. The reason why no help was given, the reason why no military assistance came, the reason why no rescue effort was mounted was because Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton could not admit that terrorism was taking place. To send in the Marines, to send in a rescue unit, to respond in any way would be to admit that Obama had not vanquished terrorists. And how can you do that anyway when Obama's off the grid and can't give the order? And Hillary Clinton's at home, and nobody can reach her. So Obama and Hillary are off the grid during the attack. No help. Requests for additional security before the attack by the ambassador were unanswered. The reason is to protect Barack Obama's re-election in 2012. They had already, again, decided on a campaign theme. There was no more terrorism. Or the threat was dramatically reduced because Barack Obama had killed Osama bin Laden. And if we had responded, why, that would indicate that there must still be terrorism going on, that we are still encountering it. So they blame a video, and they claim it was a spontaneous protest of ragtag angry Islamists over a video. And because it was spontaneous and ragtag, there were not any military assets anywhere near, and it just, sorry, we couldn't do anything. An active decision was made not to do anything to protect the political fortunes of the president and his Secretary of State, who had her own political desires that she was protecting. Another thing, another reason why we couldn't send in a rescue squad, Hillary was the architect of overthrowing Gaddafi. Libya was at peace. As far as the American people were concerned, Libya was at peace. There couldn't be a breakout of hostilities. There couldn't be any terrorism. Obama killed bin Laden, had vanquished Al-Qaeda, and Hillary had overthrown Gaddafi. They could not do a single thing politically to acknowledge that they had screwed up and were blatantly royally incompetent. 4 people dead. Meanwhile, we mount a rescue operation special forces rescuing Iraqi hostages facing imminent execution by ISIS. And we're talking 70 people, nearly 70 Iraqi hostages facing imminent mass execution were rescued from an Islamic State jail in a raid by Kurdish troops and U.S. Special Forces in northern Iraq yesterday. Pre-dawn raid targeted a school near the northern town of Hawija that was believed to have been used as a base by senior military commanders of ISIS. The Pentagon forcefully defended U.S. involvement in the mission amid questions of whether it violated the administration's policy of no boots on the ground. So there were even some pacifist pansies who complained about this rescue effort, and the Pentagon forcefully defended what they did while being asked if it violated Obama's policy of no boots on the ground. Apparently, the no boots on the ground policy didn't matter. When we want to rescue 70 Iraqi hostages, we can do it. When we want to rescue 70 hostages being held by ISIS, we can do it, and we did it. 4 Americans are pinned down in Benghazi by Al-Qaeda terrorists in an attack that was known to be a terrorist attack, in an attack that was known before it was launched that it was going to happen. And for 11 hours yesterday, Mrs. Clinton, using great stamina, as I saw reported in some conservative blog, 11 hours, Mrs. Hillary Clinton, presumptive Democrat nominee, explained why we couldn't rescue 4 Americans. It was not possible. Yes, we could have, and yes, we can, and yes, we did in Iraq.